This is the Health Rebels podcast hosted by me, Steve Hicks. I have over a decade of experience as a personal trainer, and during that time, I have watched the smartest fitness advice fail people because we keep thinking that health and fitness is an individual's problem. The reality is there are forces all around us that are constantly pushing us to a default of being unhealthy and unhappy. To become truly healthy and happy, we have to rebel against those forces. So if you're ready to steal back control over your health and happiness, join me as we strip away the nonsense and show you the simple, healthy habits that will transform you into a health rebel. Let's dive into today's episode. Welcome back, Rebel. Hey, today I've got a really exciting one for you. One that I'm really happy to give. It came from some social media interactions that I got earlier, and it actually, someone asked a really smart question. This one deals with sugar, and it deals with cravings. And the question that came in one of the Facebook groups that I'm a member of was, what nutrient am I missing if I'm having sugar cravings? And that's a smart question to ask sometimes. A lot of times, and you'll hear me talk about nutrition, I give it a nutrition by addition focus, that you're trying to add nutrients. And if you're hungry, if you have cravings, there's some nutrient or some amount of resources, there's something that you're missing in your body that your body wants. And so for someone to ask what nutrient I might be missing if I'm having sugar cravings, I thought was a really smart question. And I also thought it was a really smart focus because it kind of aligns with that nutrition by addition. It's trying to give your body the resources it needs to be at its utmost functioning, to be in its most thrive state. But the answer I gave might surprise people, but I think you'll really, really love this answer as well. And what I told the person was, hey, look, I think one thing that we might not be considering, there's a lot of great stuff. And there were some good answers in the group. There were some unrelated answers. Someone was talking about like you might be short on magnesium if you're craving chocolate or some other stuff. And people gave other examples of what cravings might be signaling. But I gave another perspective and I said, hey, look, the thing you might be missing, if you're having sugar cravings, you might be missing out on happiness. Because really, if we think about this, sugar is one of the strongest signalers we have to releasing dopamine in the brain. When we consume sugar, there are like happy hormones or happy neurotransmitters that get released in the brain that make us happy. Right? Think about that. If you ever get the chance to see a baby eat ice cream for the first time, ice cream is super sugar dense. And you can watch that child's face explode with glee. Right? They try it. They're like, ooh, it's cold. Ooh, oh. And then their face explodes. Right? They're so happy. Is because sugar has this dopamine release in the brain. It stimulates what's called the reward center in the brain, and it makes us happy. And that's a response that we have strengthened by practice, right? When we're kids, when your teacher wants to celebrate stuff, you have an ice cream party, right? When you do good in little leagues, your parents take you out to ice cream, right? When we celebrate birthdays, what do we celebrate birthdays with? With cake. Right? What do we celebrate weddings with? With cake. Which, as an aside, I went to a super emotional wedding the other week. It was so emotional. Even the cake was in tears. All right, bad jokes aside. It's really, sugar is something that we do to make ourselves happy. And I find that in the modern lifestyle, look, we all know depression rates are at an all-time high. We know suicide attempts are at an all-time high, and they've only gotten worse with the pandemic and with isolation and with quarantines. But the reality is, if you're having sugar cravings, I would challenge you and wonder if instead of a nutrient, there is a possibility that you might just need an energy bump. Sugar is the fastest source of energy the body can get. So maybe you need some more energy. Maybe you need some more calories. Maybe you need some more food. But it could be a brain thing. It could be an emotional thing. It could be you're just missing out on happiness and you want that quick dopamine hit. So, if you're getting sugar cravings, I would ask, how do you feel? Are you unwell right now? Are you a little in the dumps? Maybe you're bored, right? The sugar things are usually what we do when we're celebrating, when we're having a party, when we're having festivities. Maybe you're bored. Maybe you're bored and you got a sugar craving from that. It might not be a physical thing. It could be an emotional or a psychological thing. So I would ask you, if you have sugar cravings, did you do anything to have fun today? If you have sugar cravings, did you connect with a friend or a loved one today? Or are you trying to supplement that with sugar? If you're having sugar cravings, are you bored and you're trying to fill that hole with sugar? So that was one of my interactions on social media. Speaking of social media and Facebook groups, if you're not a member of it, I would strongly encourage that you join the Health Rebels training camp. It is a free community on Facebook. I do a live coffee chat with the members in the morning. I post fitness information, fitness and health information there. I host challenges occasionally, and it's a great place to get connected with other rebels as we have discussions on a weekly basis and kind of get to learn what people are going through and knowing that you're not alone. If you're interested in that, check out the outro and make sure to come on back for tomorrow's topic. We're going to be doing a follow up to Thursday's podcast. We're going to be giving a lot more information on that topic. So if you're interested on going deeper into episode 18, make sure to listen to that episode ahead of time. Come back tomorrow for a follow up and for an expansion. And until I talk to you again, make sure to keep the oath. Hey, thanks for listening to that episode of the Health Rebels podcast. Before you run off, I want to let you know about a free resource available for you. I do have a free Facebook community where I do daily live chats with other health rebels, provide more information, host group challenges, provide support, and just generally try to put more positivity on your newsfeed instead of the typically toxic political hate that we get surrounded by already. If you're not already in the Health Rebels Training Camp Facebook group, I'll tell you what, I'll sweeten the deal. When you join the Facebook group, I'll send you a free digital copy of my Health Rebels Pocketbook Guide. This little book highlights some of the hidden forces that have conspired against our health and happiness and gives you 2 powerful tools to fight back. You can join the Health Rebels Training Camp group by visiting www.facebook.com/groups/Health Rebels. That's an S after both groups and Health Rebels. Or by checking out the show notes. You can also search on Facebook for Health Rebels Training Camp. I hope to see you inside.